Hi everyone, Ribbit Gaming here, with a new series I'd like to call Ribbit's Thoughts, where I share my opinion on a game I just played, or might have played before, but I'd like to share anyway. And the first game is going to be BioShock Infinite, since I kinda said at the end that I was gonna make a separate video telling everyone about my opinion about the game. So that's what I'm gonna do, and well, let's get going. Um, the world was amazing. The art, the thought put behind everything. Everything had a purpose, basically. The world felt very alive. The first 2 hours of the game, I was literally blown away by everything. The world, the people, and the story, what was going on. I wanted to know more. I wanted to see everything. The well-realized world, I think it's one of the most beautiful games that has been created so far. Lots of great artwork going on here, and the characters were amazing too. Very well thought out. Yeah, well, it was amazing. The graphics were amazing. The effects and everything. Although textures could be a bit bad at times, but it was nothing that hurt it in any way because the art was so good. The textures were just, they didn't need to be that good because it looked amazing anyway. Voice acting was one of the best I've heard in any game ever, and the dialogue between Booker and Elizabeth was great. Although at times Elizabeth's dialogue seemed a little off when she reacted to things. Her dialogue for doing stuff for you, like picking up health and throwing it to you, was sort of not voice acted multiple times to fit her overall mood. So she sometimes she seems very cheerful when throwing you things, and in the story she's supposed to be like a mental wreck at the time, which was a bit weird. Although you can suspend your disbelief and let it slip. The and yeah, it was a joy to explore and find out find out more about the world through the Vox phones. And yeah, everything was amazing. At least for the first 3 hours, and then something sort of happened where I started getting bored, and that brings me to the negatives, which I like to call them, and the negative sides of the game, and that's the level design. Not the art, but the overall level design. It's very linear, straight road. Most of the secrets are right in your path. Maybe if you sometimes you have to turn to the left, but it's just a small room where the secret is. There's no great there's no real exploration. Well, there is exploration, but it's not a lot of exploration because it's just usually just a room you have to find. There is no separate path of the game where you can go find a lot of stuff. It's just a Vox phone might be here and the upgrade for your health might be there, but there's no real side quests or anything, which I was a bit disappointed by. And yeah, and after a few hours everything just becomes shooting, 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 shooting. It's just a straight line. Enemies come out, attack you. You shoot and you shoot, and the combat mechanics aren't up to par. Really, they're average. I'd had hoped for more, but they don't really stand out. They're pretty boring, and by the end, if you had watched from my end videos, I was just spamming and spamming and spamming the same. Oh, I can't remember the name of the magic things. Plasmids, or was that in BioShock? Well, uh, anyway, you'll see that in a bit in this video. Uh, and well, yeah, I was sort of disconnected by the world from the world. It's like you have this sense of urgency, and well, Booker is dealing with something. I'm not gonna spoil anything, and all the fighting sort of disconnects from that because well, it's just more enemies and enemies and enemies, and some of them become very bullet spongy and just boring. And you can easily like deal with everything by just spamming plasmids. Oh, I can't even remember the name. Great. Anyway, yeah, I really don't like the combat system that much at all. I'm not a fan of FPS games in the first place, but some I do enjoy, and I enjoyed this a lot, but the combat brought the whole experience down a bit, which to me was a shame, because the game could have been such a great experience otherwise. And now I had this huge part where I was just bored out of my mind because I knew there was just another shooting gallery behind the next door, and that made me not want to progress because I felt it was boring. But I still wanted to see the story, so I pushed myself to progress anyway, and the story kind of made up for it in a sense, but not enough, I'd say, because I could have had a better time, and so I can't give this game sort of like a perfect score because the combat to me is the most important part of any game. Well, the gameplay, not the combat, because some games don't need combat, but the gameplay is the most crucial part, and here they sort of fucked it up. Or rather, not fucked it up, but it turned into a very simple, average shooter. And yes, I played it on normal, and I don't want to play it on any higher difficulty because, from what I've seen, the enemies just become more bullet spongy. Enemies just come straight at you still, and everything. So no, that's not what I want at all. Yeah, not a negatives there, but like I said, I did enjoy the game quite a lot because of the story. It's an amazing story, one of the best I've seen. So yeah, final thoughts. Story and the world are great, amazing, actually, and dialogue also amazing. Great voice acting, and everything. But if you're looking for great shooting gameplay, I don't think you'll find it here. So if you are a person that don't really care about the story, you should not buy this game, I feel, because the shooting is average. Still an amazing game, I really enjoyed it, but still was sort of annoying. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.